Mustang Coaches Show. I'm Kerry Shuck, voice of the Broncos, alongside the head coach of the Broncos, Lee Blankenship. Coach, how are you?
Good to be back this week, man. Doing great.
Yeah, it's good. Good week. We talked about it before. A big win, and I think that Southmoore, when I'm sitting there watching them, they have a lot of really good athletes on the field, just all couldn't come together for them. And you guys did really well on defense, and your offensive line and rushing was just...
Yeah. Absolutely, and you're exactly right. A lot of good athletes. That quarterback, number 11, was man, he's a tough player. It took our kids a few series just to settle in and adjust to his speed. But was really proud of how our offensive line played. I want to start with them today. Just an outstanding effort by them. We've talked for several weeks in a row just about eliminating penalties, and man, those guys did that this week and still just played such a great game and opened up a lot of big holes for our running backs.
Yeah, and even on when you're getting to the edge, there were several times where I'd see an offensive lineman that would pull and just have like a wall to where Kari or Harvey could get around that side and get 20, 30 yards even.
Absolutely. Really good night for our offensive linemen. And I'd love to pinpoint just one of them, but all of them played a really good game and did their job. They did their 111th, which is what we talk about every week. And then you went ahead and mentioned Kari, man. What an unbelievable night for him. He went for over 260 yards. I believe he had 4 touchdowns. Just an incredible performance by him and something that I know that he's really proud of, and we're proud for him.
I've never gone 260 yards on like a Madden football game, like when you create a character, so I can't believe somebody can do it in real life. A lot of the other people too, Harvey Phillips, Devin Martin, George Linzaga.
Yeah.
You've got you can plug anybody in back there. It's a lot to do with the offensive line. I'll say that too. But a lot of good athletes that they're able to, like you said, find holes, but they have the vision too.
I was really excited for last night or for Friday night. We really played a lot of guys and got some good experience. We actually got another set of 5 new offensive linemen in right there around the middle of the third quarter and just continued to let them get experience. And Ethan Young, our sophomore quarterback, was able to get in and get some good snaps and get some experience. So anytime you can have a good win like that and you can get a lot of guys some playing time and just get them more and more reps, that's just more experience that's building for our future. So definitely a lot of positives from the game on Friday night.
And defensively, you say Liam Kravonics all the time, Braden Jarmans, and then Anthony Gashidle. I think I said his name like 9-10 times. I mean,
Anthony Gashidle had a great night. Anthony Gashidle has kind of been right there in that rotation. He was right at number 3, number 4, first guy in on the defensive line. He's waited for an opportunity all year long. Had an incredible spring, a great summer. Is one of the guys that's faithful in the weight room. A guy that never misses. And I know he's just been chomping at the bit to get his turn, and that just kind of goes to a message that we preach and try to teach to our kids. Don't grow weary in doing good. You know that we have so many kids in our program that never miss, and they're in the weight room and they work hard, and they haven't quite seen the fruits yet of all that labor. And Anthony's a perfect example. I'll use him for a long time, just in that example of don't get tired of doing what's right. Don't get tired of doing good. When it's the right time, you'll be ready, and when you get your opportunity, have a night where you have 10 tackles like Anthony Gashidle did. Another young man that played just a phenomenal ball game, and another example of that even is one of our sophomore linebackers, Kel White. Man, Kel came in. I feel like he made every tackle in the third quarter. We had a couple of guys with some bumps and bruises, precautionary. We decided to take them out and give our sophomore an opportunity, who's had a great year. He's gotten better every single day, been phenomenal in really every area of his life. That's one of our mission as a football program is to relentlessly pursue excellence in every area of our life. So in our character, in our academics, and on the football field, in the weight room. And Kel's a young man that exemplifies that. He's just a sophomore. He's got a bright future now. But Kel really came in and played well. I think he had close to 10 tackles on the night. So I was really excited for him too. You're seeing, and it's perfect time of the season, you're seeing some new names and some new faces and some guys that are getting more and more responsibility put on them. And those guys have prepared themselves the right way, and they're stepping up and making some plays. So that's exciting for a football coach, and just to see the progression of the season and where guys started and where they are right now. It's a world of difference. So we're excited about that.
Definitely. And I think there was one defensive drive where I said, it was probably first down, I said Kel White on the tackle, and then Kel White and Liam Kravonic on the tackle, and then third down, Kel White on the tackle. It was just like everywhere. It's got that time and just took advantage of it.
No question, and he not only had some tackles, but some big hits as well. I mean, he was really, as Coach Dollar would say, hit hard. He was really hitting hard, and he's got a very bright future. Was really excited to see how well that he came in and played. So good things happening right now.
Well, all around, defensive, offensive, special teams, everybody played well. What do you think were some of the best plays of the game? And there's a lot of them, offensively and defensively.
Man, that is a tough one. There were so many positives and so many good things. I would say maybe not a play, but the best thing that we did on the offensive side of the ball was just eliminate penalties. No turnovers. Hayden Conrad did not take a sack. We really have cleaned up, and that's just a testament to our kids and then just Coach McDaniel and the offensive staff just harping and staying consistent in our message to our kids, and really demanding a cleaner and better play, and you can see that in them. So as a coaching staff, that's a win, that's a victory. Maybe not a top play or anything that's really flashy, but that's a key to our success and the success throughout the rest of the season. On the defensive side, man, it was just the adjustments at halftime. They came out and did some things that we hadn't seen. They really threw some things at us that, they were trying to win the football game, and our kids had to kind of adjust to it. Coach Dollar and his staff did an incredible job of just adjusting at halftime, and they were really basic, simple adjustments, but sometimes there's a genius in just simplicity, making things as easy as possible for the kids where they can still play hard without having to overthink things, and then putting that on the coach's plate, and that's what Coach Dollar and our defensive coaches do such a good job of. Top plays, man, the interception by Colt Humphreys comes to mind. Colt had that was a really pretty play. First play from scrimmage by Kari Brown when he took the opening play of offense for a long run. We had the little reverse that was kind of flashy. That was nice after the defense got a big turnover. We came right back out with that and looked really good. I know that, I remember Will Haddix having a huge catch down the sideline, and it was kind of over the shoulder of the defender, and he jumped up and really made a highlight catch. There was just so many great things that happened throughout the course of the game, and really excited for all of our kids.
And I like how you talk about the best plays, especially in offense, cutting down turnovers, because when you look at the week with Norman North, a lot of times you guys have a lot of momentum, and then a holding penalty puts you back 10, and then
no question
foul, and then this week it cleans it up to where you're 300 plus yards rushing, and then Hayden, you can see from week 2 and 3 really understanding that pocket. He gets out and he knows just the play to make.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. We tell Hayden every week, you don't have to be the guy that wins the game for us. Just don't lose it for us. So, and what that means is be smart with the football. You don't have to throw for 500 yards, and you don't have to throw every ball on the money, but don't throw interceptions. Take care of the football. Hayden has had 2 interceptions on the season, and they were both at the very last seconds of the game when we're throwing the ball deep in the 2 losses and just trying to, throw a prayer up, and that's all he could do is just throw the ball and hope somebody makes a play on it. But other than that, he's been really clean this year in terms of taking care of the football and not giving up big sacks. And he's done a great job of just leading our offense and orchestrating some of those drives. The Norman North game, it's interesting that you mentioned that. It was really similar from what happened against Southmoore to what happened in Norman North. We went down, I think in versus Norman North, we took maybe the second play from scrimmage. It was the first drive, and we went right down and scored, and then they answered. And the same thing happened on Friday night. We took the first time we touched the ball, first play, we took it for a big one and scored, and then they come back and answer, and it's 7-7. And just how our kids responded to that, you can really see the difference from week 3 to week 6 and how they, it responded to that adversity. They decided to play the next play. And then especially on the offensive side, what we did with our second possession was take it back down the field and score again. Several weeks ago, what we did was get silly penalties, miss some opportunities, and have to turn around and punt the football away. So you can really see the growth in our players. And listen, it's not a whole lot different than teaching, man. We have standards and things that we gauge and test our kids on. And Friday night obviously is a big test, but as a teacher, we just want to see growth in our kids throughout the course of the school year and throughout the course of the season. It's not any different from us. So we're seeing a lot of that. We're excited about that as a coaching staff.
Exactly. And this might be a question for Coach Dollar, but I know you can hear everything. I know they had their wide receiver, the Jaden Scott, that was at the quarterback that kind of hard to handle at the very first. And a really good running back with Chris Wilson. But it seemed like after that he had turned it around. Was that something that they just it was kind of a monkey wrench that was kind of thrown in at the last second, or had he been doing that all year?
Yeah, to be honest, we had some different things in, and it's interesting. Like our playbook is not even all the way open yet. We're on chapter 2 of 30. On in every phase of the game, especially on the offense and defensive side, we're just taking baby steps, and we're trying to get a little bit better each week. But we had some things in that he installed this week. Not to give too much away. I think maybe our kids look good at on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then when we got in the game, what's the right word to use? Maybe overwhelmed them a little bit. So more than anything, we just scaled that back and went back to our base stuff and got really simple and just said, hey, listen, this job, do your 111th and play really hard. And that's what happened. And there's a lot of that is good coaching on his part and on our defensive staff's part to recognize that and go, if we can just get our kids to play hard, even if we're simple, we've got an opportunity to win the ball game, and that's what they did.
Oh yeah, exactly. So some of the outstanding acts, I think we've gone through everybody. I don't know if there was anybody that played bad all night. I mean, I'm just sitting there looking at every single play. Like, this offensive lineman looks like he's doing his job. They've blocked it, made holes. Every running back's playing. Receivers are catching. Hayes is playing great. But anybody you want to highlight besides?
I mean, honestly, just the guys that we talked about, some things that we can do better always. We had a few penalties on the defensive side this week, and a lot of those were effort plays. We were tackling a guy, and it was right when it's a bang bang type of deal right there. He's right there out of bounds, and we went and tackled him. He was a little bit late. He was a yard out of bounds. That gave him 15 yards. We hit a guy behind the play. The ball was still live, but it was just on the other side of the field, and one of our defensive players went ahead and took a shot there, and so that was another 15 yards. So we allowed them to have some drives extended just by a false start here and there, or rather us jumping off sides or being in the neutral zone or some of those things. So it's always, man, if you can win the turnover battle and then win the penalty battle, then you're going to be pretty good. So we can always fix those things. Those are just little details, but again, something that's really important to us are just being great with the little things and being faithful with the little things. So if we can fix that, we're going to be okay.
And like you'd said, with some of the penalties that happen, a late hit, those are all effort plays where you're trying to get something done. You see something on the reverse side, well, something could happen, so you block somebody. It's not anything intentional.
I will say that about our kids. The effort has been there all year long. On Friday night, there's not an ounce of quit in our team, and I've been so proud of that. And then, like you said, the effort, it's there. When we can channel that and have great effort and still play smart football and eliminate some of those silly things, then the sky is the limit for our team and for our program.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take our first break and come back. We're going to talk about Edmond North. That game's coming up Thursday, so kind of a quick week.
Fast week, that's right.
All right, we're going to come back after the break. We'll see you after this.
Hey, 6th to 12th graders. It doesn't matter who you are or what you're into. If you're looking for a place to connect, if you're looking for answers, if you're in need of some encouragement or just looking for a friend, come on over and join us at First Baptist Mustang on Wednesdays at 6:30. We're a place for you.
Get low prices every day at Smickless Chevrolet. If you wanna rock a Chevy, got 500 new and used, like Camaro, Silverado, Chevy, Malibu, and Cruise. Bad credit, you can still buy. 50 lenders standing by. Hit up that Smickless Chevy app and search right from your phone, or head to Northwest Expressway and County Line Road. Get low prices every day at Smickless Chevrolet. SmicklessChevrolet.com.
Hey Oklahoma, it's barbecue time, and Swadley's is now serving world-famous steaks. Come on by and see us today, or order online at swadleys.com. We're Swadley's world-famous barbecue, where faith and families come together.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mustang Coaches Show. Kerry Shuck with head coach Lee Blankenship. Coach, never gets any easier. I mean, that's what 6A1 is all about. Yeah, got to go to Edmond North on Thursday, and so it's kind of a short week, one day. Anything that you guys do to prepare for something like that differently, or just kind of do your same game plan?
Honestly, it's going to be a lot of the same game plan. Consistency is very important to me. We're going to focus on us. Now we're out of school on Wednesday, so that can either be. And I was actually talking to Mr. Chestnut, one of our high school principals, about the game plan and about the week and Thursday night's game, we mentioned this. No school. It can be an advantage for your team if we use it the right way, or it can be a disadvantage. So we're going to go in the morning on Wednesday. But we're still going to take our time. We're going to have plenty of film. We're going to make sure that our kids understand the game plan. And then we'll bring the kids back in on Thursday. That's a lot of people don't realize the sacrifice that our coaches and then that our players make. Everybody else is at home on Wednesday and Thursday, and we're here at 8 a.m. and on Friday night we won't get back until late. And then we've got film and all those things still over the weekend lifting. So to play football, it takes a commitment and a great deal of it, and we do that because we love our school and we love our community. But anyway, so on Thursday we'll bring the kids in and we'll do a normal Thursday type of a practice. It'll be a little bit more condensed. We probably won't make them wear their helmets, but we'll go through our Thursday walkthrough stuff, and then Thursday night get on the bus and go play the game. We'll feed the kids and all that good stuff. So it'll be a different week, but a lot more college-like, if you will, I guess, for a road game. So we're excited about that. It'll be a little bit new, and it's good to mix things up sometimes anyways.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, commitment there, you deal with 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. So when you see, hey, we're out of school these days, it's kind of, you're not out of school. You really have to work those days because you got a game on Thursday.
We are at school. We're just at the football field the whole time and in the meeting room. So one of the things that I ask our kids every year is do you really believe what you say you believe? Mm-hmm. Do you really want what you say you want? And when you can answer that question with a resounding yes, then that changes some things. It changes the way that we talk. It changes the way that we act. It changes the way that we approach the classroom. It changes the way that we eat, what the things that we put in our bodies. So if you really want what you say you want, then the next step is, are you willing to give up the things that you want now for the things that you want most? So that's something that we really preach to our kids. They probably want to stay home on Wednesday like the rest of the student body, and on Thursday and stay up really late at night and sleep in. But that's what we want now is not going to help us get what we want most. So sometimes we got to be willing to give those things up so that we can accomplish later what we want to accomplish the most. So our kids I believe are really bought into that. Listen, our kids have been 7 days a week since August. We come in and watch film on Saturday mornings, and then on Sunday afternoons we have a team lift. So all of our players are in the weight room lifting weights, and then our defense meets at 6:30 a.m. on Monday mornings. So we really put in a ton of time, effort, energy. If our kids are there, 7 days a week, our coaches are there 7 days and a lot of hours in those days. But listen, we understand that we have a responsibility as a football program to represent our community the right way, and we know that we can bring a lot of pride to our school and to our community by just the product that we put on the field, and even more than that, just the character that we do that with, and the leadership that we bring to our schools and the hallways and into our community. So that's really important to me. I know it's really important to our kids, and we just want to live up to that and give our community the best product that we can give it. So that's something that hopefully we won't have to beg our kids to be there this week because they understand the importance, and it's more than just about me. It's more than just about the individual player. It's about Mustang. So we're going to take that seriously. The kids will be there and ready to roll.
Oh, I bet so. Yeah. We've talked about this a couple of weeks. When you look on the sidelines, the kids that aren't in the game, when it gets to a crucial third down and 2 or 3, they're sitting there waving the crowd on. They're involved in everything, and it just kind of goes back to the coaches and having them buy in to certain things. Like they're still a part of this whole thing.
Everybody in our program has a role, and that's something that is incredibly important to me. We call it being an encourager, putting courage into your teammates. So if you're on the sideline or if you're not in during the play, just because you're not in the game, everybody can't be the quarterback, and everybody can't be the guy that catches the pass or makes the tackle. But we all have a role. All of us have a way that we can help Mustang be successful successful in that play. So we really preach that, and honestly, I'll yell at a guy on the sideline just as fast as I'll yell at a guy on the field if they're not fulfilling their role and working hard to to do their job. If you're on the sideline, your job is to be enthusiastic, get the crowd into the game, and then really put courage into your teammates that are on the field. So they do a great job of that. I've been really proud of our kids for that this year.
No, definitely, and it's been fun to watch from the booth. Let's talk about Edmond North.
Okay.
What are some of the tendencies that they have offensively, defensively that you guys have to look out for?
Well, on the offensive side, they have a really good quarterback. They throw the football a lot. They like to take downfield shots. They've got a good receiving core. So it's a game that our secondary is going to have to be really dialed in, understand the game plan, understand the scouting report, and then make some plays when they try to throw the football down the field. Their quarterback is a returning starter. I believe he threw for over 1,400 yards a year ago, and he's on track for that again this season. So we've really got to be disciplined in the back end and making sure we cover those receivers. Can't have any busts, leave a guy running down the field open because their senior quarterback will find them. On the offensive side of the ball, they do a lot of things inside of the box. They show a basic 3-4 look early or before the snap, but then they have a lot of blitzes and they stem, and where they line up is not exact, or the gap they line up in isn't necessarily the gap that defensive lineman will be responsible for after the snap of the ball. So it's going to start with us up front. Our big guys up front have got to come out and have another great night. We've got to be disciplined with our eyes, revert back to our rules when we're not sure of what we're seeing in front, and then we need a good night from our running backs as well. So expect to have that.
I think one thing that has changed from my days of high school and everything, like 30 years, but it's the way that defensive coordinators, even on the high school level, have been able to disguise defenses so well to where sometimes you really don't even know what the defense is doing. Like you said, get out there in a 3-4, and all of a sudden it turns into something completely different.
No question. That is, listen, pretty much in 6A football, what you see is probably not what you're going to get. So a lot of those reads that happen, whether it's by the offensive line, understanding the angles or what their responsibility in the blocking scheme is, and especially at the quarterback position, just understanding who am I looking at, what's my read progression, where's that defender going to be after the snap. It happens after the snap, which is is challenging. So, but our guys do a great job of it, and hopefully we'll have them coached in a way that helps eliminate some of that stress and give them a good plan on how to work through those things.
I can tell you the other night against Southmoore, there was a certain play where Hayden was up. It looked like two were coming in the box on a blitz. He called something out. And I don't know if it was coming from the sidelines or whatever, but it went into a run where two guys rushed in, and they collapsed, and then they were wide open.
Hayden does a great job. We have a lot of checks for him. He's a very intelligent player, really understands the game of football, understands defenses. So Hayden has the freedom on certain plays to either change the direction that the play is going or get us into a different play based on those linebackers and the defensive line. A lot of people don't see that when they just come to the game and watch the quarterback throw the ball and that type of thing. But there are a lot of things that go into playing that position, and man, he does a phenomenal job of just making us right, even though the play call may or may not be the perfect call. The result, our quarterback gets us into the right play or getting in the right direction, and that's huge for us.
Must be good having a quarterback as a head coach. Kind of help him a little bit right there.
Hopefully so.
Well, anything else we got going on this week? I know we'll have Wednesday at Wednesday.
Still have the Wednesday coaches show. I believe that the volleyball team is going to be there this week, so that'll be awesome. We'll get to see them and be able to hang out with them. But would love to invite everyone to come to our Mustang coaches show on Wednesday at Mazzio's Pizza, 6 p.m.
So it's Mazzio's. I was talking with Ryan Booth, and you guys had a talk. Is it Mazzio's?
We had a little discussion. I honestly just kind of thought, I'm from southeastern Oklahoma, which hey, you're from southeastern Oklahoma too, not very far from where I grew up, and I just always called it Mazzio's, and I thought it might just be my southeastern Oklahoma dialect, but it turns out I was right. It is Mazzio's, not Mazzio's. So we asked the owner, and he settled the debate that we had. So it was nice to come out a winner on that deal as well.
It feels good to have LaFleur County get a win on that.
That's right. We needed that win for LaFleur County.
We sure did. All right, guys, we'll head out Wednesday night to Mazzio's. You know, the volleyball team will be there, football team will be there, coach will be there,
Yep.
answering your questions and go over everything like that. And then head to Edmond North. It'll be on Thursday, 7 o'clock. Get there and get rowdy.
Should be good football weather, so that'll be
Oh,
awesome. It's going to be a little bit cooler again. Not as cold as it was Friday night, but cooler.
Yeah.
So going to be a good night.
Yeah, it should be. Well, Coach, good luck. We can't wait to see you next week. We'll talk about Edmond North and the next game coming up next week. We'll see you guys next week.
Go Broncos.